Breaking news.
According to the Daily Mail, Joy Reid's MSNBC show is canceled as ratings plummet. MSNBC has canceled Joy Reid's evening show amid the network's plummeting ratings, according to a report. Her final episode of The Readout is set for sometime this week, sources told the New York Times. The 7 p.m. Eastern Time slot will be replaced by a panel show co-hosted by Simone Sanders Townsend, Alicia Menendez, and Michael Steele. The shakeup comes from newly tapped MSNBC President Rebecca Cutler, who is looking to save the network from dismal ratings, according to Variety. Other programming changes are expected as the network looks to revitalize its primetime roster. Amid a looming landscape of languishing cable and legacy news stations, MSNBC had the lowest rated Januaries in history and the highest sought 25-54 demographic. The statistic holds importance to advertisers due to the group's spending power and the fact that it pertains to both daytime and primetime. During the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time, MSNBC barely managed an audience of 734,000, with CNN securing just 522,000. Reid has often come under fire for her bizarre takes and opinions, both on and off air. Following Donald Trump's assassination attempt last summer, Reid was slammed for taking to X and sharing conspiracies, including that he may have not even been shot at all. Thanks again for stopping by.
Tito, take it away. Joy Reid, up out of here. What say you?
I'm still struggling as a person who understands media, participates in media. I'm still struggling to understand why this day did not come sooner. Here you have a person who is uniquely untalented, uniquely unattractive, shrill, constantly virtue signaling, constantly going on unhinged rants, right? And is symptomatic of what's wrong with their party now. I'm surprised that this didn't happen sooner. You know what? I was saying to Saul earlier that I think that as part of this U.S. aid investigation, that it might possibly be discovered that some of that money was going to prop up some of these media outlets, you know, your CNNs and MSNBCs, because it's the numbers just don't make sense. When you see how poorly she was doing in the Target demo, when you see how poorly she was doing in the time slot, right? The numbers just don't make sense because they have very few commercial interruptions on both of these networks, especially on MSNBC, because nobody's buying the advertising. What is keeping them afloat? What is keeping them able to pay all of their staff salary, to pay all of the people who produce the show salary, to have their equipment maintained, to pay for the leases on these buildings, the offices they occupy, vehicles, per diems for lunches and shit? What is keeping them afloat? The numbers don't make sense with this shit, right? And you know, she did the same thing that Tiffany Cross did. She did the same thing that a lot of these other, you know, highfalutin Negroes in media do, is they came at black men that's in the black manosphere, and that was probably the kiss of death. I don't know when people I go learn from Janelle Hill and Tiffany Cross and all of them, but she not gonna be the last. Don't worry, she not gonna be the last.
Oh no, the cuts are coming, and well done, Tito, because what you were saying about how are these media staying afloat, and you mentioned US AID. Good segue into our next segment, because I actually have some numbers on where the US AID was sending and to what news and media outlets, and that buttresses our argument that we were saying that somebody was funding these media companies to push the type of propaganda they were pushing, because it's not even news anymore. And shout out to Lord Love Smith. He has posed the question to the chat and to the panel. He said, we need to ban ugly women from being on TV. Do you gentlemen agree? If y'all agree with Lord Love Smith, put a one in the chat, and the panel, you guys can address it during your turn at round robin. Saul, what say you to Joy Reid, Congolese Joy Reid, getting the axe? Long overdue.
I'll say this much. I'm going to take a different take on this, okay? Anybody remember Tiffany Cross?
Yup, No News podcast. Shout out to him.
Okay.
He put that in the chat. She didn't learn from Tiffany.
Anybody remember Stacey Abrams?
Yes, sir.
Obviously Kamala Harris. Obviously her. And obviously countless others. I just want to indicate to y'all, when y'all think that people sit up in the middle of the night and they talk, or people put together shows, or, they're expending time and energy, talking ad nauseum about these different concepts and strategy and what we're doing to support black men, you're already seeing chinks in the armor. Do you see any transgenders en masse, city to city, marching? Do you see any BLM out there? Do you see Antifa out there? They know better. All of a sudden, all the agitators are gone. They just disappeared. Guess what? All the money's dried up too. Right? You've seen that sort of mechanics of fear-mongering and hysteria, and then, of course, all the bullshit on social media, and then all of a sudden you have this white boy with dreads in a place like, I don't know, let's say St. Louis, with a Molotov cocktail setting shit on fire. That was the play. And then, of course, after the aftermath, of course, you got punk-ass Roller that got to get his cut. You got some fake-ass researcher got to get they cut. You got some damn nonprofit that comes out of nowhere that does analysis and stuff like that. And they all are eating at our expense. And so the jig is fucking up. And so Joy was more or less a remnant of that. The tide has changed. The pendulum has swung. So it is what it is. Y'all let y'all nuts hang. I let my plane there.
Well played, sir. Well played.
My nigga.
Lord Love Smith, it seems the chat agrees with you. No more ugly women on primetime television. Contractor, your take on Joy Reid finally getting the long overdue and deserved boot?
Personally, I have nothing intellectual to add to the conversation outside of Joy looks like Cisco in drag.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is who's been speaking for you black women. So-called black women. So-called black men. Yeah. That right there. Show that mug again one more time. That mug. That hard mug. Show that mug of Joy Reid. Because
she got a hard face, bro. She got a hard face.
Yeah, she do.
That face only a mother can love.
Slightly. At the end of the day, Joy getting dismissed is one step toward the future, and things shall proceed accordingly. And it's going to be a lot more of Keisha getting set out there. We ain't got no more jobs for you. Ain't no more DEI. Ain't no more none of that. You've been in tech dolls for so long that that's all you know. And the world's changed now. We put vicious dogs have been put down. It's real simple. Keep being that if you want, and end up like Joy. So let her be an example, bro. It is what it is. I'll end there.
Let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
Breaking news.
The immigration system. The reality show Government went so far as to tell federal agents in immigration raids to be camera ready and brought none other than TV host Dr. Phil along for the ride, which is interesting given both the rise in MAGA immigration influencers they're seemingly endorsing and the fact that Dr. Phil has made a career out of exploiting vulnerable people for money.